Hey everybody, I got a good one for you. How many of you guys remember this inverter? Oh yeah, how long has it been since you've seen one of those? So I'm active on this neighborhood app called Nextdoor, particularly for solar and storage related questions. And somebody sent me a private message that says, hey, I have this inverter that keeps flagging this error message. Like, can you come over here and check it out? Like, I'll pay you for your time. Like, yeah, dude, like, I'll come. And he lived, 5-7 miles away in a neighborhood that was built before the one that I live in. And sure enough, he had this error message. And I was able to find the manual for this inverter. Now, it says it's an SPR, which means SunPower, right? But it's a white label inverter. I remember they used to do this back in the day, like when I first came in 2008 into the industry, and they did it with SMA, right? And so they would get like a Sunny Boy 5000 and they would white label it SPR 5000. And I recall very clearly how our support team was not able to answer questions about that SPR 5000 inverter, right? So it kind of got a little touchy because we had agreements with SunPower and all that. Well, that's exactly what's going on with this gentleman who called me to come take a look at this SPR inverter. And I could tell that he did his homework. He said, okay, well, can I just get a new inverter? And unfortunately, the inverters back then had two types of fusing, at least the SMA ones did, for either the positive or the negative conductor that came in off the DC disconnect that hung down on the bottom. And SunPower modules had to be positively to ground connected. Doesn't matter, just some little quirky thing that you had to know about their arrays. Now, speaking of which, this guy had shingles, 48 shingles, powering a 2800 watt array, like just to show you how much technology has advanced, right? But unfortunately, I had to give the guy a little bit of bad news because you cannot just replace a modern string inverter that are all transformerless now on an array that needs to be positively grounded. You can't do it, right? And so he's like, well, what's my other option? I said, well, you will have to find an old school Xantrax, Fronius, SMA. I know I'm forgetting some other ones, but you have to find an old school inverter that can handle a positive or negative to ground. In this case, the inverter would have to be able to be configured positive to ground. So, you're scraping the back of, distributors, warehouses, you're looking on Craigslist, eBay. That's just what you got to do, right? Or you have to take everything down. You have to take all of that equipment down. You have to replace the inverter and essentially replace the whole thing. Yeah, and he took the bad news in stride. Like he said, I kind of figure, like in my gut, that's what I was going to have to do. So yeah, if you have customers, or if you're a homeowner watching this and you moved into a solar ready house, or one that had solar on it back in the late 2000s or early 2010s, this is something that you're going to have to deal with. So my advice to you is to find a really good, reputable installer that can guide you through the process of removing the existing system and then replacing it with modern technology, larger modules, bigger inverters. So I guarantee you'll be a lot happier with the extra power that you get from the newer modules and inverters. But yeah, that's what you're up against. So yeah, yay technology.